Hey everybody, this is Mitch from Boardco. I'm going to be running you through the dash screens on the Centurion Fi and Vi series boats so that you can become more familiar and comfortable with operating the Centurion boat. All right, I am currently sitting in a Centurion Fi 23 and going to be walking you through the dash system, how it all works and operates, and all the different features that you have at your disposal at your fingertips here in the Centurion Fi dash. Here on the that I have selected first is the home screen. This is going to be the main screen that you're going to be on the majority of the time when you're running and operating the boat. Starting up here in the top left, you have the check engine light, which will illuminate if you have an issue with your engine or a code has been thrown. A depth alarm that will also come on if you're in really shallow water, and a fuel light. You see we don't have much gas in this boat, so that one is currently illuminated. We also have the current time that's right here next to that. And then you have your water temperature, your depth. We're sitting here in our showroom, so don't have any depth. And then right below that, there is a chart of the history of the depth on the boat. This can be a really useful thing because you can see what your depth is looking like and a gradual slope of what's going on. This is nice because you can tell, hey, if you're running really short, that it's progressively coming up on you, you're going to be able to know, hey, we'll be on the shore here in about 300 feet if I keep going this direction. Next to that, you have the battery voltage, you have your engine temperature, oil pressure, and engine hours. Next, you have your fuel gauge right here, and then a gauge for your RPMs and your miles an hour right here on the right side. In addition to that, you have your settings for your zero-off GPS-based cruise control system. This is just a simple on and off right down here on the button right below the speed, and then you can toggle the speed up and down by just simply pressing up or down there, or on the paddle shifters that are to the right of the steering wheel. You can toggle that on and off, and then if it's on, all you need to do when you're driving and going to, let's say, pull a surfer at 11.5 miles an hour is push your throttle down, and it will take you up to speed, get to 11.5 miles an hour, and stop on that speed and hold it while you're operating, you have somebody back there surfing. When you're done, you just simply pull back on the throttle, and it will release and allow you to turn around and pick up your rider without the cruise control being engaged. Anytime you ever want to disengage the cruise control while you're going, you just simply need to turn the cruise control off and then go from having your throttle down to pulling back just until the throttle releases, and then at that point you can go forward as fast as you want. So if we want to go from 11.5 down and then go up to about 25 miles an hour, we just release it back to where you feel the cruise control disengaging, then you can go forward and go as quick as you want to go. Next, right here on the right side, you have on the top right your rider profile settings that you can go through and have pre-programmed in here, and I'll get to that in just a moment. You also have a quick snapshot of what is going on with the surf settings on your boat, both your surf left and surf right tabs, as well as your center silent stinger plate on this boat. You can toggle quick surf on and off by simply pressing on and off right here. You see it activated, and it's on the surf left function with the with the starboard plate at 70%. You also can disengage quick surf and activate a setting called quick launch. This is a setting that I'll show you a little bit more about in just a second, but you can activate it just by pressing that quick launch button right there at the very bottom. That covers everything that's right here on the home screen. So we're next going to go to your second button here on the left side, click the menu, and we're going to select the button that looks like a wave. That is our surf settings. Now here we have a blown up version of what was on the bottom right of the home screen on the boat. You now have all of your instrumentation moved over to the left side of the boat. So you have the same information you had previously, including your ability to toggle your cruise control on and off. You also have a blown up version of your quick surf and quick launch settings. Quick launch, as you'll see, is a button that you can press to help you get up out of the water quickly and more efficiently, even when you are fully ballasted. So you see what happened here when I activated quick launch is it turned our two side plates down to 100% engaged. These plates will stay down at 100% as we throttle the boat forward until we get up to about 18 miles an hour, at which time these will retract back up out of the way. The reason they'll retract back up is so they don't get in the way for your wakeboard wake or your water ski wake, but they really help you plane out much quicker and with a lot more weight in the boat. Even up here at our high elevation where we are at, you can plane this boat out with full ballast in it if you have the quick launch settings engaged. So, but if anytime you want to disengage those, you just simply turn quick launch off. In addition to that, the quick surf settings will override quick launch, meaning that if you have quick launch activated and you turn on quick surf, it will disengage quick launch or override the settings that it has there. Now, as you can see, I have the quick surf setting turned on here. You have surf left and surf right. So if I wanted to switch over to surfing on the starboard side of the boat, I just hit surf right, and you see the plates will move and change. There's two lines that you can see here on the dash. One line is yellow. That is the place where the plate is intending to go, and the other line is red, which is the place where the plate is currently at. As I move the center plate, you'll be able to see a better indication of what I'm talking about. I engage it down and you see the yellow line is moving. Once I stop, the red line moves to catch up with it. This gives you a really great look as to where exactly your plates are sitting while you're running throughout the boat. If you ever do have a point where a plate can bind up or stop in a certain location, you can look and see what's going on. If that ever takes place, the easiest way to solve it is just simply by turning quick surf off and doing a cycle of quick launch on and off, and it typically will reset the plates back to where you want them to be. This can happen sometimes if there's an extra bind or some extra pressure that is put on any of the plates in an unexpected manner, and it keeps the motor from burning up or having a problem while you're operating the boat. In addition to the settings of just being able to do surf right and surf left, you also have the ability to edit those surf place settings. All you do is just click the edit button right down below, in this case the surf right function, and you can control going from that. Right now it is engaged at a setting of 70 and the starboard tab is a setting of 0. You can take this up to a setting of 80, 85, or down to 50 or 55. 70 is the typical setting that is set up from the factory, but you can modify it up or down depending on the number of people that you have in the boat, the amount of ballast you have in your boat, and the kind of surf wave that you want to produce. If you want to know more information about dialing these side tabs, refer over to our Wake Surfing 201 and 301 videos that we shot talking about the specific dynamics of setting up a surf wave and optimizing the surf performance on your Centurion boat. Once you have that set, you can just hit save and it will save that setting in as your surf right setting for the boat. Oh, one last thing on this is you don't ever want to engage the opposite side tab at any point. So currently this is at a setting of 70. You can turn it up to like a 10 on the opposite side, but it's not going to give you a very good surf wave. The only time you'd ever want to do that is if you're wanting to do something else with the plates other than typical surfing. So next thing to talk about is your center stinger plate. This is going to control the running attitude of the boat, and you can control it from two places, either right here on the dash screen by just pressing the up and down arrows, or by engaging it on your toggles, your paddle shifter that is on the left side of the steering wheel. This just gives you a quick and easy way to adjust that plate. The paddle shifters on the sides of the steering wheel control the center stinger plate on the left side and your speed on the right side. They put those on paddle shifters because they are the two most common things that you're going to change while you are operating the boat and surfing. That covers pretty much everything on the surf settings on the boat. The next thing I'm going to move over here to is the ballast settings. This ballast screen is here on the left side, and it's the center button on the little menu that pops out from here on the left. This gives you the ability to control all of your different ballast settings on the boat. You can press fill or drain for any of the tanks. You have, in this boat currently is equipped with a total of 5 ballast locations. You have 2 ram fill tanks that are these two right here, which are the big, large ram fill ballast tanks that are exclusive to Centurion boats. And then you also have your plug and play bags that are here on the back right and left corners, and your center tank that sits under the floor in the bow. These 3 tanks, the plug and play bags and the center tank, are pump operated tanks that you can fill and empty just by pressing fill or drain. The ram fill tanks similarly function off of a fill or drain function, but you have to be moving in order for these valves to open or shut. Right here I pressed fill on the ram fill gate, and you see it says increase speed for the left side. The right side has a green check mark because it's not doing anything to this side, just the part on the left side. At any point you can press stop and it will disengage it and stop at whatever point. This can be while the boat is sitting still, or you can press stop once you're 50% full of ballast and it will just stop and remain at that 50% mark. The other thing to talk about from here on the ballast screen is trailer mode. Trailer mode gives you the ability to control the ballast valves for the ram fill ballast system while the boat is sitting still. You don't need to have the boat operating in motion in order to fill or to open or close these valves when the boat is in trailer mode. You can open or fill or close the fill gates or the drain gates independently. You see when I press open, it put up this menu or this text that says gate opened underneath the valve. I can do the same thing on the drain valves and hit open, and it says gate opened right here on the right side. If you hit close, it will remove that text and close those valves. The little green marker that is underneath the open valve is not the ballast, the position of the ballast. This does not mean that the ballast gate is open, which can be confusing sometimes for people. Trailer mode is a great feature to make it so that you can ensure all of the ballast is out of your ram fill tanks once you're pulled onto your trailer and going up the launch ramp. As you're on an incline going up the launch ramp, you can open those valves and make sure every drop of water exits out of the boat. It's also the way that they can decontaminate the boat if you have to deal with invasive species decontamination with the ram fill ballast system. You can open those valves and they can decontaminate them by going through the back valve gates in order to decontaminate the system quickly and easily. From here, I'm going to show you a little bit more about the rider profile presets. Now that you can see the surf settings and the ballast settings, there's a way to where you can automate these functions through your rider presets. At virtually any place on the dash screen, or on any menu on the dash screen, you can press the top right button that says none currently because we don't have one activated, and you can select any of the rider presets that are currently programmed in the system. There's some factory settings that are in here, but you can also create your own. Right now, if I wanted to activate the go home setting, all I do is just come down here and hit activate. And you see it hit and engage and hit go home. You also can delete any of the settings or edit any of them if you wanted to. If I wanted to edit the go home setting, I can just hit edit this profile, and I can control anything from your speed, your center plate, your quick surf plates, and all of your settings with your different ballast configurations right here on the screen. All I got to do is just press up and down. Let's say we're going to take it to 23.5 miles an hour for go home. We're going to take the center plate to 50, and we're going to hit done. And that will automatically save that to the profile setting, which means that you can at any point in time come to go home, hit activate, and it will automatically take care of setting up every aspect of the boat for you. You can use the presets that come in here. You can design your own presets, or you can have presets for each individual rider. So if you want to have a specific setting for, as an example, Adam Surf Wave, you can go through and have it set up in here so that you can pull up the exact settings you want with just the touch of a button. You'll set up your speed, your ballast settings, your plate settings, and everything else that you want to have in the boat. It's really great to use these as a baseline setting for establishing how you want to use and operate your boat. Because oftentimes you're not having the exact same configuration every time you go out, as in you have different numbers of people that are sitting in different places all throughout the boat. You may not necessarily find that it's best to pre-program everything perfectly in the way you want it, but rather have a baseline setting. As an example, on this rider profile preset, I can hit surf right, hit activate, and I have a baseline setting for surf right that then you can manually change and manipulate. There's more information on this on our wake surfing 201 and 301 videos that you can get a lot more detail out of and really know how to truly optimize the performance of your Centurion surf wave. But for now, you can just use the factory preset settings and you can have a great experience and it will throw out a phenomenal surf wave. The next thing to cover on the ballast or on the dash screen is the next menu over, which is the lighting on the interior of your boat. Here you can activate any of the different lighting areas and they'll just light up on the dash screen as you activate them for any of the different lighting options that you have selected in your boat. The next menu down is your navigation screen. Right now, currently, this boat does not have any maps preloaded. It is, the maps are an option in the FI and VI series boats, but if at any point you wanted to activate maps for the United States or Canada, you can just simply plug a USB drive in and load those in if you want to have those added on. If you ever want to add maps onto your boat, just give us a call at Boardco. We supply that. We can arrange to get them for you for any of the boats that you have. And you can either order them as an option on your new boat or you can get them after the fact, no problem at all. From here, the next button down is your music control. When I press this, you see it pulls up it shifts all of your instrumentation once again to the right side, so you still have control over your cruise control and see all of your instrumentation data. You also have right here all of your controls for your stereo system. You have your Bluetooth device controller right here, so where you can go through and connect any of the different devices, add a new device, edit any of the existing ones. You can also change the source and go between Bluetooth or AM, FM, or auxiliary. And then from here, you have your track control and volume control right here. In addition to that, you have the great new feature of being able to have full zone controls and auto volume on your FI or VI dash screen. This allows you to control different volume areas between your tower speakers, your interior speakers, and your subwoofer. So if you wanted to crank up your tower speakers, make it so the riders can hear, but turn down your interior speaker so it's not blowing out people on the inside of the boat, you do it just like that, like I just showed you. Just slide the volume button left and right for any one of the different settings, and it takes care of it really quickly and easily. You also have the ability to turn on your auto volume settings. What that's going to do is it's going to automatically control the volume of the stereo system based on the throttle position of the boat. So that as you throttle up and you have the engine noise that kicks in, your volume will raise to compensate. Same thing when you pull back on your throttle, it's going to reduce the volume in order to make it so that you don't have an overly loud stereo when you're idling around to pick up a rider. It's a really cool feature that you can activate really easily just from hearing your stereo settings. Lastly, you have a volume control setting, volume control that's right here that's just really quick and easy. You can use as a slide bar. So if you're at your home screen, you press the volume slide, you can just grab it and slide your volume up and down and change your volume on the fly at any point in time. The last thing to show you here on the dash screen is your settings tab. Now there's a couple really useful and nice things here on the settings tab. Some of them are relating to the GPS coordinates, things such as your waypoint manager, track manager, depth and position, things of that nature. You also have the ability to pull up user settings to change things like your screen brightness. And then there's two functions that are probably more important to go into detail with. The first one is your diagnostic setting. So if you pull up your diagnostics, it will go through and pull up a current list of any active engine sensor codes that popped up. This is really useful because previously we used to have to hook up a Diacom system in and scan your engine in order to see what you may have going on if you had a check engine light. Now if you have a check engine light, you can just simply come into your diagnostic setting and it will give you the exact sensor codes that spit out so we can see exactly what's going on with your engine. This is something that you can then look up the codes to see what may be going on, or you can give us a call and we can walk you through it. This can be very nice if you're out on the lake and have a code that gets thrown to where you can tell quickly and easily the difference between something like an engine overheating because your impeller went out, or you can see if it's something like you have an O2 sensor issue. That means that you can continue operating the boat, it's just going to burn a little bit more gas than it typically would. It gives you the ability to hopefully not have your trip ruined by an unnecessary issue that is just simply a convenience item. So you can pull that up really easily just by selecting the engine diagnostics on the settings screen. The other thing to show you is the ballast settings. Now, the ballast system in the Centurion Fi and VI boats is controlled off of a timing system. This is a far more accurate way of measuring ballast, especially in soft bladders, than something like a float system or a metering system. This gives you the ability to have full control over your ballast system and know exactly what's going on at any point in time. By setting this up properly, you can know that if the ballast is exactly at 53% or if it's not. And so you have exact down to the 1% increment ballast monitoring that goes on your ballast screen. From here, you have times that show each one of the different ballast locations that utilize a pump system to fill and empty the ballast. From here, you can control each one of those different ballast times and take them up and down. What these times mean is you have your fill time here on the left side, which is the total amount of time to take the boat or to take the ballast tank from 0% to 100% ballast. At the same time, you have the drain times, which goes from 100% to 0% ballast. As you can see, we have the port fill time at 4 minutes and 0 seconds, and we have the port drain time at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. These are the factory preset settings, and every boat can tend to be slightly different. In fact, every single pump can be very slightly different. But this gives you the ability to control it exactly the way you want. One really neat thing about this control is it gives you full customization over how much ballast you put in your boat. As an example, if, let's say, you typically go with a really large crew of people and you want to have more storage space in your back lockers, you could turn down the ballast fill time from 4 minutes to 3 minutes to make it so you have a little bit of extra storage space in those back lockers. You currently have a fair bit back there, but if you want even more, because you got plenty of weight with people in the boat, you can turn that time down a little bit. At the same time, if you are draining your ballast and you notice you have about an inch of water left in the very bottom once you're done draining, you can go and take your drain time and turn it up about 5 or 10 seconds and make it so it will drain every single drop of ballast out, or drop of water out of your ballast tanks. So it gives you full control on over exactly what is happening with your ballast. If you want them to fill up till they're popping at the seams, bursting full, or if you want to have them fill up into where you have a little bit of room left in your storage compartments, you have full customized control over that by going here to the ballast screen. That pretty much covers everything on the touchscreen dash control system. Everything else on the helm is pretty self-explanatory, things like your navigation and anchor lights, your blower, bilge, and your horn. But that will cover everything that you really need to know about the touchscreen dash system. You can tell from the system how user-friendly it is to work with and to interface with. There's almost nothing you do on the screen that requires more than 2 button pushes or 2 presses on the screen in order to arrange any function. There's not a bunch of menus to scroll through or text or lists to move around. It's just simply pressing a single button to be able to move around and control just about any aspect of your boat, which is why, in our opinion, the Centurion has one of the most functional and user-friendly dash screens available on the market. We hope this has been really helpful. Feel free to check us out for more information. Look at our YouTube channel for more videos such as this for how to operate your boat effectively. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know how we can be of more assistance to you and if there's any other topics you'd like us to cover in these videos. We appreciate it a ton. You have a good one, and we'll see you later. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to check out more videos like we have, click the subscribe button below and check out the other videos on our channel. We really love the opportunity to be able to share our knowledge and our love of water sports and all the stuff we have going on with you guys. So if you give us a thumbs up, click the bell, click subscribe, and everything else, we would appreciate it a ton, and we can keep you informed. Thanks a ton. We'll see you later.